Yo, what's up? What's up? It's your boy Cino giving you another moment in hip hop history that many of you may not have known about. That's right. At one point, Biggie, the notorious B.I.G., was considered for playing Fat Albert. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? Sounds really stupid. Sounds really stupid. Now, we must go all the way back to the beginning. Now, when this whole thing kicked off, there was an entire like organization that was put together to bring Fat Albert back. Fat Albert was the cartoon series that Bill Cosby created, and I don't know how long ago, but it was involves black families and everything else. Like my mom, they grew up watching it. I grew up watching some Fat Albert on TV. One world with all kind of people, the human race. We're one world. They always have a musical number to end the show with. And Fat Albert would always be the guy to come up with the idea, and it was Fat Albert in the game. So Fat Albert was known because of his, even though it had its stereotypes and all that stuff, it was what people related to from the neighborhood, from like the projects. You had a television show that brought all of that out. And Bill Cosby creativity, he did. Oh man. It's funny because he had a paint roller, like he was painting everything with a paint roller. I remember Chris Rock was like, Fat Albert, he is not a tracer. You are a tracer. Fat Albert, Bill Cosby did Fat Albert with a paint roller, and it was excellent. Oh man. So anyway, mine got way off track. Sorry about that. Listen. So anyway, back in this film was discussed back in 1994. 1994, the film was being discussed. I don't know who was in charge of CBS Films at the time, but CBS Films was interested in making this movie. Bill Cosby just signed a big deal with CBS Films, and CBS was like, "Okay, we're gonna do CBS, theatrical films. So we're gonna start doing that, or we might release something later on down the line with some of the things that they acquired. They got TriStar. They ended up acquiring Columbia. So down the road, these things were, spiraling a little bit. So because Bill Cosby was struggling with his film success, like with Ghost Dad and all of these different movies that had hadn't had the success that they had liked, his box office drawing numbers wasn't great. So people were talking about, giving him a $10 million budget. And a $10 million budget wasn't gonna bring Bill Cosby out to make the film. So Bill's not gonna do a movie for $10 million. That's just not gonna happen. Um, you're gonna have to give him a real movie budget, But this was in the time of the '90s. This was the budget. Like, ooh, that's a big budget movie. which it really wasn't, but $10 million is what they gave hood movies. Like here's your $10 million, make your little hood movie. And people can make that for two in the hood. But different things was launched. Oh, hold on. Now, sorry, things kicking off. But a lot of different things transpired during those times. During those times, there was a lot of actions taken. Like there were writers moving around, managers being fired, people being let go. So while I was in negotiations, and Bill Cosby wasn't really a household name anymore, Bill agreed to do a television series called Cosby, which was going to be on CBS, which played great to older audiences, but the younger audiences didn't gravitate to it. It was Felicia Rashad and him doing this TV series again. And if he was going to do that, he should just start it all over, using Felicia Rashad again as his wife. It put them in a weird place. It felt like this is weird. They're the Huxtables, Now they're like a whole nother name, and just don't. And now he's all different. It looks weird. So this situation led them to bringing back up the Fat Albert thing again. Like, okay, let's get the Fat Albert. Let's get this rolling again. So people were weirded out by it. Like, what? Are you kidding me? So they were like, no, we gotta, get this thing going. So this guy named Bruce Toby, who loved it. Oh my gosh, loved it. Bruce Tober, Toby or whatever his name was. Bruce was all huge about it. Oh, we're gonna get this thing done, and it's gonna be huge. So once again, this was brought back to the forefront. This was gonna be a huge event. In 1995, Ted Demme, who ended up doing the movie Philadelphia. That's right, Yo MTV Raps, Ted, wanted to work with Bill Cosby and bring Fat Albert out and have some hip hop stars in the movie. And said, these young kids grew up on Fat Albert. They all relate to it. We need to reintroduce Fat Albert by using who the young people are listening to now, which are the hip hop stars. Let them play the characters in the movie, and this could take off. Let Biggie Smalls be Fat Albert. And it's good to get Biggie now before he's through the roof. So it only made sense. But to some, things just don't make sense. So, and I think he had just gotten married to his wife. And once he got married to his wife, he did the movie Who's the Man and all these things, but he did the work he did on him and his brother did on uh, what's that, Philadelphia with Tom Hanks and Denzel. That gave him the notoriety and the respect. And then he did Blow with Johnny Depp. But before all that, let's keep it in perspective. Biggie is 1995. Biggie is the biggest thing in the world. And in 1996, they're having a discussion about the film and using hip hop artists to actually play in this role. And Ted Demme wanted to direct it and bring Fat Albert to life and everything else. And he said, "Man, we introduce Heavy D and have him work on it, because he's into film now. Heavy D's mostly great person, and Bill Cosby loved Heavy D. Out of all the hip hop artists, he respected him, a lot. So, but Bill was offended when he suggested the Notorious B.I.G. be Fat Albert. That was Ted brought that idea up, and Bill was livid. Oh, what are you talking about, boy? Don't you know Fat Albert is a child? This is a story about children, not some overweight thug. I'm not gonna have my audience. Oh man, you talking about his audience? I'm not gonna let my audience listen to an overweight thug. This is Fat Albert. This is about children and people and happy times and singing. Should be ashamed of yourself. Not making Fat Albert for a thug. Ooh. Oh man, so that that eliminated the idea. Plus, they could never get the funding. And it wasn't the right time, the right place, nothing. So now things have changed as everybody has gravitated towards switching things around. People have gravitated towards doing things their own way. People has gravitated towards doing a lot of different things. And new money came into the studio. Once new money came around, things have changed. I mean, everything changed. So they were able to finesse Fox because Fox Studios came it up to be. And when Fox Studios was like, yo, we're going to do this movie and it was going to be this big budget, Bill Cosby landed a deal. They gave him $45 million for the movie, not to include the marketing, everything. Bill had a lot of money to play with. And because he had a lot to play with, this led to a big audition on who was going to play Fat Out. As soon as it was announced, I knew the person should be Kenan Thompson. I was like, Kenan, that's Kenan Thompson. They auditioned a lot of people. And it was this one guy who was really good for Fat Albert. He was in a couple of movies, and he was just not. He wasn't fat enough. They were like, man, we could put a fat suit on this kid. He is incredible. So Wonder what happened. Probably ended up in the abyss of black actors. But anyhow, he was good and should have probably gotten the role because they said, man, he auditioned a lot better than Kenan Thompson. But Bill Cosby loves Kenan Thompson. Once he auditioned, he said, "That's Fat Albert." No more people need to audition. That's my guy. That's my guy right there, Kenan Thompson. See, I like him. I like his portfolio, and I like his comedy. He's clean cut, wholesome. That's my guy. He's Fat Albert. Don't want no overweight thug playing Fat Albert. So it was always something, man, that was incredible. It was always something incredible behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Like always incredible behind the scenes. But I just found that to be very, very interesting. So that he was just shot down for the Fat Albert film. Found that very interesting. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe to the page, hit that notification bell, and like the video. If you like the video, definitely hit it up, like the video. And oh yeah, on the Patreon, we have a lot going on. You find out the truth about what happened with Chris Lighty. You find out about the politician Andrew Gilliam and what that he had a secret crush on another man. Uh, you find out what happened with Prodigy. You find out what happened with Soldier Slim. It's a lot coming, bro. It's a lot more coming. You think you think you heard it and know it all, but it's a lot more coming your way. We out.